something in your life is evolving right now. You're not just imagining it, you're outgrowing the past. Hi, my friends. It's Meredith, your evolutionary astrologer. And today we're going to talk about July 2026. Oh my gosh, it is so much. This month gets really, really loud. I want you to be prepared. Get your pen, get your paper, get your gorgeous natal chart, and come with me down this rabbit hole because this is not really an ordinary month. Oh, just wait till you hear about all this energy. It is a lot. I want you to be a part of it because I want you to manifest your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and that which lives inside of you and put it into the real world. I want you to have all the golden nuggets, all the pearls of wisdom, and I want you to be able to do something really, truly extraordinary with this month and with the energy that is just flying all around us. There's tons and tons of changes happening and occurring. So we got to dive into it. Have you ever noticed that some months just feel ordinary? They feel kind of like dull. And then there's other months where just everything seems to move all at once. That's this month. There's a real turning point. I think we're like around the corner now. And what I'm going to do is I will give you guys some ideas about how this is going to affect the collective, but really I want to keep this personal and I want to keep this about you. I want to make this for you. So this is for all 12 zodiac signs. You write these dates down and then you go look and see where this energy lands in your own natal chart. July is a month that you might realize that you've outgrown something that used to fit perfectly. I want to tell you this one little example. When I was a young girl in high school, I wore this particular Wet n Wild lip gloss. It was like a orchid color. It was like a lavender. It was really wild. It was gorgeous. It was like a light lavender. I loved it. I went out at that time and I bought like 3 of them because I said, I want to wear this for the rest of my life. I love this color so, so much. I found one of those little lip gloss vials about 20 years later, and I remembered how much I loved it. And you know what I said to myself? Ew, I used to think this was the best thing ever made. I used to wear this lip gloss, this lipstick, every single day through high school. And I bought 3 of them. And by the way, at that time, I was just making money at the Gap, selling blue jeans at the Gap. So I didn't make very much money. That was a lot for me to go buy 3 of them. That was gluttonous, right? And then I remember finding it all those years later, packed in some box. It's like, wow. And I used to think that that's what perfection was. So I believe July is one of those months where it's far more dramatic than lip gloss, trust me. But the dramatic awareness, you becoming awake in your own life about what is really happening to you, maybe to the world, maybe to others. There's going to be dramatic awakenings this month. Just wait till you hear about these transits. And we're going to see our lives more clearly. And once you see something really clearly, it's difficult to go back and pretend that you don't really see it. So that's one of the defining themes in July. And this month is filled with like massive planetary shifts, and Mercury retrogrades, and Neptune and Saturn are both going to station retrograde. The lunar nodes are getting ready to change. And so there's a restlessness. And if you're questioning whether or not you're on the right path, I get it. I understand it. You're probably going to get those answers in July. Something in your life is evolving right now. You're not just imagining it. You're outgrowing the past. And July is less about making quick decisions and more about understanding why the change is knocking on your door in the first place and why you can't live in the past, right? So throughout this forecast, this video, I want to help you understand not only what each transit means, but how to work with it in a practical way. I want to give you some uplifting news. And my goal isn't to make predictions that leave you feeling like powerless and like, okay, I'm just going to go crawl underneath the covers. But it's to give you insights to help you make wiser decisions so you can navigate the challenges with greater confidence and recognize the opportunity that these planetary cycles are trying to open up for you. And I want you to experience the excitement, right? The timing is really, really important. So my question is, what if everything you've been trying to control was never yours to control in the first place, right? So let the magic in. And I want to tell you also, July's not going to necessarily make your life easier, but it is asking you to become more authentic. And that's because we're working with the luminaries. You guys, every single July, you're working with the sun in Leo and the sun in Cancer. Of course, first it's in Cancer and then it's in Leo. So the moon is the ruler of Cancer and the sun is the ruler of Leo. And so you're working with the luminaries. So this is the most personal month of the year. Isn't that cool to think about? Because you're working with the sun and the moon, the heart and the soul. And so I want to ask you, this is a very serious question. Please answer the questions as we go along in the comments. July is about discovering where you have been living someone else's dream for you, or you have been living inside someone else's dream. So first of all, can you relate to that? Second of all, what dream have you been living inside of that might not be authentically yours? Also, it could show up as you might have been living in someone else's definition of success for you. And your soul is saying right now, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm done with that. And so this month has some of the biggest evolutionary astrology that we have seen all year. In August, the nodes are going to change. So write these dates down and then we're going to go through them. July 2nd and 3rd, we have Mars conjunct Uranus at 3 degrees Gemini. Huge. On July 18th, we're going to have Jupiter opposing Pluto. And we're also at this time in the month of July, we're being fully initiated into in Chiron's ingress into Taurus. Oh my God, I have a whole entire video coming out for all 12 signs about what that really means. And that is no small thing. Also, I want to tell you that we're dealing with this Mercury in retrograde and it doesn't go direct until July 23rd. Neptune is going to turn retrograde on July 7th and it does not go direct until December 12th. Yes. Neptune stays retrograde for about 6 months, and it's a long, long retrograde. So Saturn is also going to turn retrograde, which I think is a little bit harder, and that's on July 26th. And that does not go direct until December 10th. Now, Mars has moved into Gemini, and it's going to stay there, busy, crazy, little tornado that we have to deal with until August 10th. So you are going to have a lot of irons in the fire. And I want you to use that energy in a productive way, not just spinning out. And the lunar nodes are preparing to change signs. Now, here's the difference. If you're already watching on YouTube, oh, the lunar nodes have already changed signs in July. No, I study the mean nodes. They're talking about the true nodes. And if you're studying Vedic astrology or maybe whole house astrology or not evolutionary astrologer, I'm your evolutionary astrologer. I follow the mean nodes, not the true nodes. And the mean nodes, I just feel are a little bit more accurate. And I have a whole nodes playlist. So please go watch that if you want to do a deeper dive on the nodes and the difference and how you measure the difference. Just think of mean Meredith, really mean Meredith. Like, what nodes did she tell me? Yeah. And so they're really not going to change using the mean formula until mid-August, August 18th. So Uranus and Neptune and Pluto are all going to be weaving a story together. And they're going to have one of the most important outer planet conversations of our lifetime. And on July 17th, they all sit at 4 degrees. Pluto is 4 degrees Aquarius, Neptune 4 degrees Aries, and Uranus is 4 degrees of Gemini. Oh my God. So do you have anything sitting on or near 4 degrees Aquarius, 4 degrees Aries, or 4 degrees Gemini? If you do, this is playing with you. This is messing with you. And you want to invite it in and you want to know about it so you can dance with this energy really, really well. But it's really big time. Then I want to tell you my favorite full moon of the year is always right around this time, July and August. It's the Aquarius full moon. And sometimes it happens in July and sometimes it happens in August. And this is my very, very, very favorite full moon. And I want you guys to go out and look for it on July 29th. When you look on July 29th at that big, giant full moon, you are looking at an Aquarius full moon. Why do I like it so much? Because it's opposing Leo, and Leo is ruled by the sun. And this full moon always hangs super low to the earth. I don't know what it's like in Australia. You guys will have to tell me, but it's really low to the horizon. It looks like the full moon looks like it's a setting sun. Yes. So will you guys please, please, please on July 29th, go look at it. And I want you to think about me, and I want you to leave me a comment about where you are and what you saw, and take a picture. It's a huge moon because this is no average moon. Like I said, this whole month is not average. Listen to me. This moon has Jupiter on the sun at 6 degrees Leo. And Pluto is on the moon at 6 degrees. Yes. Whoa, it's going to be so huge. So let's talk about this full moon. This full moon is asking, who are you becoming? Who are you unafraid to be? Who are you unafraid to be? Okay, we'll go into it deeper in a moment. If you've never met me before, my name is Meredith. I've been here on YouTube since 2017. I don't know why, but the algorithm just is not sharing me. It's being really stingy with me, and my views are down by 40%. And so I just want to say thank you for being here. If you want to learn deep astrology, real astrology, you want to go past the stereotypes, you want to go past sun sign astrology, this is the channel for you. And I just feel so inspired by this community and this group. And I want to say thank you. Thank you for being here. Please share my video. Please like my video, interact with this video. I'd be really, really grateful. I've been an evolutionary astrologer for more than 26 years, and every month we go way beyond the stereotypes. And I have more than 2,000 videos that you can indulge in. Grab your gorgeous natal chart. And if you don't have your gorgeous natal chart, the one that I designed is my favorite, of course. You can go to shopsoulnavigation.com, and for $10, you can support this channel, support my work, and go grab your gorgeous natal chart and dive in with me. So I want to tell you that July is kind of like walking through an old neighborhood that no longer feels like home. Nothing is really wrong, but something inside of you realizes, I don't belong in this space anymore. I want something different. I want a new dream. That's what Neptune and Saturn and Uranus and Jupiter and Pluto are all asking. Not necessarily what do you want? That's kind of shallow. But who are you becoming? There's a really big difference in that. Most people try to build their life around what they want and their comfort, right? But your soul builds your life around your evolution. Yes. The evolution of your soul is the boss of you. And sometimes those two goals, being comfortable and your soul's evolution, sometimes they're not compatible. So July is sort of saying, don't confuse comfort with purpose. Yeah. So let's talk about it. So this is one of the very biggest transits that you need to pay attention to. And this is happening early. This is on July 2nd, and we're going to feel the ramifications of this for one full year. I know this is shocking. I'm about to shock you. So Mars is conjuncting Uranus on July 2nd, and right after that, we get the Sun square Saturn. And so let's talk about this, and then I'm going to show you the chart, and then I have a lot to tell you. I have so much to tell you. Oh my gosh. Okay, stick with me. So we begin July with this electricity of Mars and Uranus. These are two malefic planets, the shock and awe, and then war and ambition and will, right? And so Mars and Uranus together do not create stagnation. They create sort of fiery electricity. They don't want to wait. They don't tolerate waiting. They don't tolerate excuses. They don't create complacency. This is the energy that wakes people up. And it's not very gentle. It's usually very dramatic. And it might even show up in your personal life where you feel like you want out of your relationship, or your relationship suddenly ends, or your job has layoffs, or somebody finally wakes up and hears the truth about their life. But I'll tell you that Mars conjunct Uranus does not necessarily create a dissatisfaction. It exposes the dissatisfaction that was always there, or that has finally come to light. But I'll tell you, this is going to create in the world, and maybe in your life, something unexpected. So be ready to be shocked. Be ready for the game to change without any notice. Also, be ready to have a breakthrough. Do something positive with this energy and start something kind of new. Now, Mercury's in retrograde, so, I don't want you to totally launch, but I want you to at least etch it into your mind and your heart. And this can be a time where you're accident prone. So be careful. Seriously, be careful. Wear a helmet with your bike or your skateboard. Put your seatbelt on. Try not to text and drive. Don't be preoccupied. Like, really high focus, high focus, because accidents can occur right now. You're going to see that in the real world. Shocks, awes, upheavals, rules get thwarted, people topple, heart attacks. I mean, it is a time where the world can also feel surprised. And so I've been talking about it so long, but this could be like an upset at the World Cup, right? Or this can even bring sort of like a shocking unification and love for people that we're seeing. This can be political shocks. This can be governmental shocks. This can happen in any arena. But I want to show you something kind of fascinating, okay? Okay, I'm sharing the chart with you. This is the United States of America birth chart, July 4th, 1776. And I want to show you something. The United States of America's birth chart it's very, very wide, but it does have a wide Mars-Uranus conjunction. And I find this very, very interesting. Mars has pulled away from Uranus, but when we look at this, and then we take a look at the 4th of July this year, we get a Mars-Uranus return. Look at this. This is July 4th, 2026. And here we have a Mars-Uranus return. And this is exact a little bit earlier, but you can see it, that we have Mars and Uranus in a much tighter conjunction on our birthday. So what does this create? The reason why this is so fascinating is because when we make a solar return chart for 2026 for the United States of America, right? So we take the sun and we move it back to the exact same degree and minutes that the sun is at, 13 degrees, 5 minutes. What happens is we build a solar return chart. And when we look at a solar return chart, by the way, you guys should all be getting your solar return chart and report and reading every single year, because it shows you how the whole next year is going to go. And your solar return reading, and I'll do it for you if you want to book a reading with me. Connie Jo can also do it. Just go to soulnavigation.com and click on book a reading and book your solar return reading every single year. You should be getting an astrology reading every single year, so you can prepare personally for your own solar return. Anyways, back to the United States. When we make I'm going to show it to you. When we make the solar return chart for the birthday of the United States of America, we get that Mars-Uranus conjunction locked in, glued to our chart, which is our lives, right? For a full year until 2027. It's massive. I'm going to show it to you. Here it is. Right here. So the sun is going to return back to the exact same place right here. And look at this. Mars conjunct Uranus in the 12th house. This is loss. There's going to be a shocking loss. And this is going to stay in play. This is the theme. from July 2026 until July 2027 for the United States of America. And so we have a Pisces moon on the North Node. And I like that because that shows me love and compassion in the 10th house is what we need to uh, put forward, what we need to build and grow our legacy on. We've got Jupiter in Leo in the third. That's very charismatic speaking. We've got a second house sun. We have Gemini rising. So Mercury in the second house right here, conjunct Jupiter, is the ruler of the United States chart for the next year. But what am I worried about? Holy moly guacamole. There is going to be some sort of shocking news, shocking loss, something very difficult, but I don't know why we need to experience that, but we are. So this is the power of the solar return. So I just want to show you really quickly, if you want to get your solar return chart and report, just go here. Solar return package. You just go to shopsoulnavigation.com and get your solar return package. This is really, really good. And you just need to write to us your birthday, your birth information, and where you are currently living. I like to use your birth city for the solar return chart, but if you don't want us to use your birth city and you want to use a different city or a different place, just let us know which city that you would like us to use. And this is just so deep. This is one of my larger reports, and it is absolutely fantastic. So if you have a birthday coming up, you definitely want to get your solar return. I always look at this about 3 months before my birthday because I like to prepare. I like to know, oh my God, if I'm going to have a Mars conjunct Uranus in the 12th house, I want to know about it. Okay, let's keep talking about this. So I also want to tell you that right after we have that Mars conjunct Uranus with shocking energy, right? So be careful, but also know that changes are supposed to happen to you and you want the changes to happen to you. So what changes are you trying to manifest? Let's focus on changing out the things, changing of the guard, changing the things that no longer work for us. And so right after that, I'm going to pull this up for you. Right after that, we've got on July 6th, we've got the Saturn square the sun. And I'll show it to you. Here we go. So we have the sun right here at 15 and we have Saturn right here at 14. Earlier in the day, it is exact. And it doesn't have to, there it is. It doesn't even have to be exact for it to be powerful. But this is when you get a reality check. And this is when responsibilities will find you and become unavoidable. In the world, we're going to see egos humbled. And it's not punishment. It's more of a refinement. And Saturn's asking, what am I capable of? What can I survive? And because dreams without discipline just become fantasy, right? Just becomes fantasy. So on the next day, on July 7th, right here, we get Neptune retrograding. And I think this is one of the more spiritually important transits of the month. And you know that it's going to live there until December. But Neptune moving retrograde doesn't remove the illusions, you guys. It actually removes the ability to live inside of the illusion. This is when you realize, oh, I've been naive. Oh, I've been exaggerating. Oh, I've been idealistic. This is the little stories that you've been telling yourself. And this is a kind of a little bit of a wake-up call. Also, this is asking you to stop saying, I'll be happy when such and such happens. I'll be happy when I find my soulmate. Well, in order to find your soulmate, you have to leave your house, right? Right? So Neptune is asking you the question, really? Really? So it's not about being cynical. It's about becoming honest. And retrograde Neptune is beautiful because it helps us also reclaim our psychic powers and our intuition and helps us open our third eye. It really heightens our clairvoyance, our telepathy. And, I want to tell you, like, your fantasy tells you what you hope is accurate and true, and your intuition whispers to you what is already true. So this is an extraordinary time for you to meditate, pray, journal, disconnect, um, go acoustic, right? And because your soul wants to become louder now. Your soul wants to lead. Your soul does not want to follow. Your soul wants to lead. So on July 9th, all the way until August 5th, write that down, Venus enters Virgo. And so love becomes kind of practical. It has the opportunity to become healthy. Venus in Virgo wants healthy love, a fitness plan and a love plan that's healthy. They don't like toxic people. They don't want toxic relationships. It's not flashy romance. It's the type of partner in your life that says, I remembered how to make your coffee. Okay, you guys, my coffee is so complex. I like a little splash of half and half, and I like a lot more oat milk. I like a dash of cinnamon. I like my nutmeg grated on the little grater, right? And I like a quarter of a pump, a tiny splash, not too much, of vanilla. And I like organic beans, and I like dark coffee. And I will just tell you, my husband gets it right every single morning. I feel so loved. It's such a small thing, right? But not to me. It's a gargantuan thing. That's like Venus and Virgo. He has Venus and Pisces. But I'm telling you, somebody who can remember your complicated coffee order, right? It's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal. So this is a time in your life where you might attract a partner, or you might be the partner that walks you home safely. Make sure you got home safely. Somebody who's noticed that you look exhausted and wants to help you with your exhaustion. Virgo reminds us that love lives inside of consistency. Yes. And not grand gestures, So who in your life loves you like this? Who in your life consistently shows up? Who nourishes your nervous system? That's Venus and Virgo. And if you don't have a partner, that's okay. You do this for you. You make your coffee exactly the way you want it. I don't like the nutmeg in a spice jar. No, I like the fresh nutmeg. It's incredible. Have you guys tried it? Don't do too much, though. It tastes terrible if you do too much. Nourish your nervous system, not your ego, your nervous system. And that's a big, big difference. So I think right now you're going to be able to start defining and seeing and experiencing what genuinely makes a relationship healthy, good, and work. I want you to kind of think about this. Chemistry and compatibility. Compatibility is like a forever thing. Chemistry is right now. I have chemistry, with, I don't know, all sorts of people. But do I have genuine compatibility? No, hardly with anyone, to tell you the truth. Hardly with anyone. Hardly with anyone. So instead of just asking, do I love this person? We start to ask, not only do I love this person, but can we solve problems together? Can we keep our word to one another? Do I feel emotionally calmer around them? Do they make my daily life easier or harder? Are they an asset to my life? Do I want to invite them into the sacred space of my life? And most of the time, the answer is no. Most of the time, the answer is no, thank you. My life is sacred. Who do I want to invite into that sacred space, right? That is Venus in Virgo. And so I just want to tell you that small improvements create really big results. So this is also one of the very best times of the year to improve the little things quietly, especially with Mercury in retrograde, to shape the quality of your life. So organize your home, build your garden, improve your budget, streamline your schedule, right? Do all the things, clean your office, simplify your daily habits, organize your spice rack. So this Venus in Virgo is reminding us that happiness is oftentimes hiding inside better systems, not bigger achievements. And that's really the truth. The next thing that I want to suggest to you about Venus and Virgo is this is a time to become hyper selective with your time and your energy. So you want to ask, is this task, is this person, is this activity worth my energy? And if it's not, don't do it. Does this relationship, it doesn't even matter. It can be with your friend. Does it feel reciprocal? Does this opportunity align with my values? Okay. So expect healthier boundaries, create healthy boundaries, and fewer obligations that leave you feeling drained. Yeah. I just went to lunch today with my biological cousin who I found when I turned 55 years old. And she's the one that took me on a pilgrimage to my biological father's farm. And she's the one that showed me his gravesite. And I got to meet my biological uncle. Anyways, both my husband and I are adopted, not by my mom, just adopted by my dad. Anyways, one of the things I want to say is she's an Aquarius and she basically has my husband's birthday. It's very interesting. She's just so fascinating to talk to. She just blew my mind open with new thoughts, with new ideas. And she doesn't live near her mother or her father. And I was talking to her and asking her about her life and is that hard? And she said, yeah, it is hard. But I really realize that I have to have good boundaries around that because I don't want to, I can't just live in either one of those states. She lives here in Washington State on the water in this beautiful little town. And she, she, for the most part, feels okay. Her parents are older, like mine. She feels really okay with pursuing her own passions because she's got to live, especially as an Aquarius, she's got to live to the beat of her own drum. And only recently has she really felt the depth of that. And this conversation that we had at lunch was just so freeing and so refreshing. And I don't have Aquarius in my chart. I really have nothing, not even anything in the 11th house. And I don't live with that level of freedom. I'm really bogged down with guilt around my responsibilities. It's why I think I love to live vicariously through Aquariuses. So if you're an Aquarius, big fat shout out to you. I want to live with that kind of freedom. And that's what a Venus and Virgo can create for you because healing happens through your daily choices. What do I want to spend my energy on and what do I not want to spend my energy on? And I'm starting to really experiment with saying no, thank you to invitations, events, commitments, obligations, duties, responsibilities, right? Sans guilt, without the guilt. And I'm really, really trying to have a better relationship with allowing myself the permission to feel the freedom and the joy inside of that, not the guilt, not the guilt and the shame. Yeah. I want to also tell you that Virgo and Venus doesn't really believe in the miracle. So instead of searching for the miracle right now at this time, although I do believe in miracles, but instead of like hyper fixating on the miracle that you need, create a healthy structure, a healthy system, a healthy health improvement kit, right? And feel motivated to make choices that add up to the miracle that you're searching for, just in case it doesn't come. I think it'll come, but it's nice when you're in alignment, when you can create the miracle out of the tiny little details of your life that you have woven together over each day. So tiny acts of self respect, self nurturing become powerful acts of self love. And that is Venus in Virgo. Right now is a time to do love in action. So you be the dependable person, if you will, in your own life to show up in the way in which you want it to be. And you can also, if you feel so moved, this is the time when I love yous look like I picked up groceries for you, right? I think Virgo devotion is found in the quiet, everyday gestures that make life feel easier and more supported and safer. And the strongest relationships are not always the most flamboyant or dramatic. They're the ones that are built on reliability and thoughtfulness and just showing up for the other person every single day. So that's your little Venus and Virgo inspo, if you will. So I've got another really interesting aspect for you that I want you to think about. And this is going to happen on July 12th. We're going to have a Mercury Sun Cazimi, but we have a Mercury in retrograde Sun Cazimi. And, you know, I like I like when Mercury sits at the heart of the sun. I mean, it's kind of like cleaning a dusty mirror, if you will. It's like suddenly everything becomes obvious. And I know under the sun's beams and it's too close and it burns it up and blows it up and all that. But Mercury's going retrograde, and so it's a very slow Kazemi, if you will. Um, and I think that your thinking and your action and your mind can really slow down enough to hear what's inside your soul. At least that's what I want to happen. However, we still have that Mars Uranus thing going on, and we have that Mars and Gemini. And so it is a very busy time, but I just want you at this time to expect like phone calls out of the blue, communication out of the blue, downloads, mental downloads, exceptional knowledge, high intelligence. I'm going to show you, let me show you the chart because it's also really interesting because here it is in Cancer. And so this can be massively psychic. Like you could talk to those who are no longer on the earth plane. Honestly, aliens could come and visit you. Your dreams can be just absolutely brilliant. You can have incredible telepathic conversations. You can find the missing puzzle pieces to your life, my friends. Write everything down, do your dream journal. I mean, that this is a very, very, very interesting time. And it's it can be so soul healing. I mean, your heart and your mind and your soul are in this giant, giant conversation, just bursting. So let's move forward to the Cancer new moon. And here it is, right here. And let's see. I like to get it closer. And here it is, right here. So this is going to be on July 14th. And this new moon is interesting because it's also got Mercury there. So again, you have the mind and the heart and the soul all in alignment. I really, really love this day. But you can see we're still contending with, and we're going to poor United States of America, we are going to contend with this for a year. This shell shocking thing is burnt into, tattooed into, um, brandished into the soul of our chart. And I think the world is affected because when the US is affected, I think it trickles out to other countries, of course, not as loudly. But so we're going to have that to contend with for a full year because that solar return chart, and it's there by transit still, of course. But so push that aside. This is gorgeous. This is absolutely gorgeous. I'm really excited about this new moon, and I want you to do something beautiful and bold with this new moon. And I want you guys to watch the video that I did on the new moon. So I thought I would pull this up for you. Here's my soul navigation, astrology, and tarot. Manifest your dreams for the new moon. Do this powerful new moon ritual to manifest your wish. It works. New moon ritual. Please watch this video if you haven't already. This is another older version. This one's only 5 minutes. I also explain it here, but this one's a little bit more in-depth and detailed. Please, please do this for the July 14th new moon. And it's very, very powerful. And you guys, I used to teach these new moon rituals down at the yoga shop with the candles that I made and my crystals. And I wonder if I have my wand. I want to show you guys it. It is so gorgeous. Of course, when you want it, you can't find it. Yeah, I can't find it right now. But I just want to tell you that it really, really, really works. It's very, very powerful. So this particular new moon is asking you, where do you truly belong? And it's an honest question. Where do you belong emotionally, spiritually, and inside your relationships? And so it's reminding us that success actually means very little. It actually means very little if you never feel truly emotionally safe enough to enjoy it. So you got to be right inside of here to be really, really capable of embracing success. Look at Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner and his wife, whose own son, who had everything in the world in the Hollywood Hills, had everything you could ever dream of, and really good family, phenomenal brother and sister and parents. And his son bludgeoned them to death. It's horrifying. How could Rob Reiner and his wife die by the hands of their own son in a gruesome murder? He wasn't right in here. He had all the success in the world. It meant literally nothing. There's hundreds of examples that you and I could put forth. Yeah. We got to get you to feel the security inside of you. So, this new moon is about your family. It's about healing your heart, healing your home, building a home, buying a home, designing your home, creating sanctuary, becoming tranquil, building inner security, self care, emotional security, and safety, getting out of relationships that are toxic, and wanting to bring into you love and people that are in synchronicity with your heart. And I actually think this new moon is one of the healing turning points of the month. It's in its own sign, it's in its own domicile, it's restorative, and it's heart centered. And I will tell you though, the one hard thing, I'll show it to you, is that this new moon, it squares this Saturn. Do you see that? It squares Saturn up there. And so that square to Saturn is creating a little bit of tension. And so it's asking us to create emotional security for ourselves, but with Saturn, with personal responsibility. So your heart wants to be nurtured, it wants comfort, but Saturn wants you to stand in the maturity of your decisions, right? And so I'm going to give you 5 things you can do with this new moon, practical themes that you can look forward to. And with that Saturn there, watch out for. Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 practical things. The first one is I want you to be able to look forward to, with this new moon, um, strengthening your family connections. And like I said, move, remodel, improve, design your home, and establish healthier emotional boundaries with your family and with your loved ones. Create routines that reduce stress. That works really well with the Venus in Virgo. And this is about building your security from the inside out. But Saturn might reveal where you've been relying on other people to provide your sense of safety and security. So I would ask the question, what emotional stability do I need to learn to create for myself? So happiness is a choice. And I tell my daughter this all the time. You can choose to stay in this angry space or sad space or this kind of like unproductive emotion, whatever it is. These people were mean to me, right? I can choose to wallow in that. And maybe I need to for a little while. But at the end of the day, the only thing that is going to make me happy is me choosing to make myself happy. And when you're happy, you feel this emotional nurturance. So the second thing that this moon is asking us is to really get honest about our family dynamics, not to punish us, but to help us break the cycles. So who can you forgive in your family? Have you had that meaningful conversation, right? And there also might be a person that you just need to separate from. Like, I can't do you. Like, it's just not going to work. It doesn't matter how many times we have this conversation. It never changes. It never heals. It never fixes. So I'm opting out. And on new moons, you can have endings too, because you have new beginnings. This is also a time when you can really do a reevaluation of your childhood story. And I will say, love yourself with greater compassion. There is generational healing that's possible right now. But Saturn and Aries can make you feel defensive and stubborn and even emotionally unavailable. So instead of saying, you really need to change for me to be involved with you. No. The question really is How can I respond to this differently? Oh, I can walk away, right? I can leave this. This is not fulfilling. The next thing I think that you are being asked with this new moon is to create a better work life balance. And success is nothing if it means we're totally burnt out and exhausted. So spend more quality time with those that you love. Create healthier boundaries at work, like clock out at 5. Huh, it's hilarious. 7:30 at night here, but protect your peace and make your home a place where you can really recharge. That Saturn in Aries is probably going to tempt you to keep pushing and keep achieving and keep proving to yourself, even when you're running on empty. So when you're on empty, turn the light out, right? Remember, rest is productive. Rest is productive when it restores your ability to live well. Yes, this is a time for emotional maturity. You are going to really see what you truly need to become emotionally wise and emotionally honest. So, what have you been suppressing? Where have you been fibbing yourself? How have you outgrown your old emotional habits? Cancer helps us feel, and Saturn helps us take responsibility for those feelings. And together they create emotional wisdom. So, what truths do you want to know or see about yourself, right? And avoid slipping into old coping mechanisms where you just ghost somebody or you expect other people to read your mind. No, have the guts to express yourself. And or where you take things too personally or you react before you've had time to really reflect. So Saturn is so cool because when you really work with Saturn in a mature way, it rewards thoughtful responses over emotional reactions. And this is a time for you to plant long-term seed, or I should say plant seeds for long-term security. And so what do you want to grow? What do you want to invest in? Creating a life that not just supports your future self, but your right now self too. So what you're doing right now. And Saturn reminds us that the meaningful security in your life is not built instantly. This ain't instant soup, people, right? The progress can be slower because you're trying to grow. You're trying to grow flowers. It's funny, somebody said you can't just will the flower to grow. You have to plant the seed and wait. And that's kind of what Saturn does. Don't confuse slow progress with failure, okay? The strongest foundations are built bit by bit, brick by brick. So, what makes you feel truly fulfilled, truly emotionally satisfied, and really safe in this world? And what are you willing to do? This is the Saturn part to consistently create that security and that safety for yourself. So, together, they remind us that security isn't something that you just find or stumble into or it falls down on you, right? Security is something that we consciously build. Like happiness is a choice. You're building your security. So the things you're doing today are creating your security. So um this is not this the Saturn piece of this takes the wishful thinking out of this new moon. Okay, my sweet friends, this is July 15th. Look at this. We've got Uranus, and Uranus is in an exact trine to Pluto, and it is in an exact sextile to Neptune. Look at that. What the heck? And this is on July 15th through the 18th, but it's going to last even longer than that. And so this is history is unfolding and history is changing. And this is a generational change. Yes. And there's an innovation that's going on right now, AI, technology. You'll see it out there in the world. But how are you innovating your life? There is an awakening going on in the collective. People are waking up to new truths, to new ideas, to new psyops. How are we being manipulated, Pluto? How are we being controlled? Yeah. And how are we being deceived, Neptune? There's a collective consciousness where you guys, it might sound crazy, but I do believe there is a unification. There is a stripping away of what the media says and what our government says about us and there's just the human existence and human love. And it's happening, like we're really seeing in our collective consciousness that we can love people who are different than us, of course, right? But I mean the collective, the mainstream. And so it's like this old identity that collectively and individually that isn't deep enough. It's not deep enough. It's not thoughtful enough. It doesn't have enough meaning. And so there's also a changing of the guard, a death of the old and in with the new. So you're going to see massive political, government, business, financial structures change right now. It's going to be huge because evolution is impossible without the death of something, death of old systems, old structures. And so this is one of these moments in time where for you personally, your future is whispering to you like, right? Before you even understand what's going on. So pay attention. This is a real wake up time and a huge July 15th, huge shifts. And Uranus and Pluto, secrets are being exposed. The truth is being exposed. Uranus and Neptune, a refusal, a rebellion against being deceived and manipulated, being scammed, right? Yeah. And there's a new energy. Uranus always brings in sort of the rebellious new energy. Okay, let's go forward. And I want to show you the 19th. Okay, we have Mars and right here at 14. And look how it's sextiling Saturn. So it's kind of stabilizing Saturn. And so there's a new kind of discipline for your life. So this is like your motivation, whatever you are motivated around, it becomes actually sustainable. So with great effort, tenacity, ferocity, willpower, you can really, really change your life for the better. So, but it's not impulsive, it's strategic. And so this is one of the very best days, July 19th, to to make progress, to build. Now, we still have Mercury in retrograde, but this is you can launch something like an exercise program, something that's just easy for you. But this is a time for you to make the commitment. This is the time for you to get organized. This is the time for you to exercise your will, your effort, your energy. This is the time for you to put the thing that you want to build, put the plan at least on paper. Mars is giving you the courage to really be different because it's still there with Uranus, and Saturn is giving you the endurance to achieve your goals. And together they can really create something phenomenal. Okay, now on this day, look at this, you guys. We have Jupiter opposing Pluto. Oh my God, this is huge. And we're about to have well, I'll just tell you about this. So this is about power, Pluto, and beliefs, Jupiter, and control, Pluto, and truth, Jupiter, expansion, and depth. And everything becomes amplified. This is July 20th. Be careful not to confuse louder with wiser. Okay. Jupiter expands, Pluto intensifies. And this is going to expose manipulation, corruption, cruelty, obsession. Power struggles are going to surface. So if you have a really mean bully in your life, they probably will get their due around this time, or you might see the truth about somebody. But it also reveals, just for you personally, in the world, I think this is going to be really, really messy. Like the belief system and those who are in control are going to be in a power struggle. This is kind of a Jupiter and Pluto. There's like a lot of corruption and evil. The dark side of Pluto can be exposed, but it's also a billionaire mark. Jupiter and Pluto create billionaires and millionaires. So you can make a lot of money on this day if you're a gambling person or a stock market person. It can create a crash though, too. So we do want to be careful. You want to be really, really wise. It can for you. on a personal level, and this is what we're going to manifest, it can create personal empowerment. Big, personal, dynamic, larger than life power. And so the question becomes, where have you been giving your power away? How can you take it back? And don't believe everybody who just sounds confident. Like, you have to really, really research and fact check. And real wisdom doesn't need to dominate, right? Real wisdom can be quiet. And at this time, power structures can topple. The great giants can fall. Arrogance and narcissism can create power grabs. Ethics will be questioned. Pluto, Jupiter, ethics questioned. Authority, the people in charge of your life or the government or the company, the owner of the restaurant, and you're the waitress, can take advantage of you. There can be a coup at this time, a toppling, a crumbling. Jupiter is trying to find the truth. It runs with the law and integrity. And Pluto runs with domination and power. And so you can stand up to unfair practices and you can win. You can win. Pluto will kind of refuse to bend, and Jupiter will see the truth. So on July 21st, Jupiter is at 4 degrees Leo, okay? In that exact sextile to Uranus now. And of course, we still have this power play, Jupiter opposing Pluto. So for you personally, not the world, this is again really freaking messy. But for you, this is a time, this Jupiter Uranus, I really love this. Get ready to be inspired. Get ready to let your authentic self be known. Be ready to peel off the mask and let your weird shine bright, right? This is so confident boosting. And you're not going to just follow other people's beliefs and, oh, I'm doing what the company and the corporation told me to do. No, you're going to question everything. And you might even annoy people, but you are getting out of jail and breaking free. Are you guys following that incredible TikToker? I follow him all the time. I write on his page every day. Just search him on TikTok, trying food for the first time after spending 17 years in jail. I love this man. I love this man. And he had a birthday cake and he went to jail at 15 and he was tried as an adult and he got out at 17 years later. And he made a wish for his, with the candles that said 15, and then he made the candles that said 16, and then he made the candles that said 17, and then 18, 19, 20, I think he's 32. And he made a wish for every year that he didn't have a birthday cake. And he said, I'm never going back. And he's just madly in love with like Chick-fil-A and Burger King and Chipotle. And he's trying some fancy food, but most of it's fast food, Domino's. And he's just like, I mean, he's eating this food, just like dying and going to heaven. He's just awesome. I love him so much. This reminds me of that. Like, this is your get out of jail and I'm never freaking going back and I'm not doing your life that you have imagined for me. No, I'm embracing that Uranus and I am inspired to do me authentically and confidently. And I am pushing myself into new realms and new belief systems are being born now. I believe differently about myself now. And his life story is so beautiful. He's so inspiring. He's on TikTok. I want you guys to go watch him. So what is so exciting about July 22nd and July 23rd? Oh my gosh, Mercury gets out of retrograde, but the sun enters Leo. And finally, right? The momentum begins to return. And Leo reminds us to stop apologizing for our existence and to stop diminishing ourselves. And Leo is asking us to create and laugh and lead and play and express and be authentic. And Mercury direct helps us begin the conversations again. And like now, everything you just created the infrastructure for, now you want to launch it. Your projects go forward, your travel traveling starts to happen, like travel. Plans become clear. And it's like, boom, the spotlight, your ignition is on. And then on July 24th, Venus is in this sextile to Mercury. And this is like the most beautiful, gorgeous communication. And this is excellent for like healing conversations, writing, teaching, creative work, reconnecting, telling someone how much they matter, inspiring other people with your words. And then on July 25th, Neptune is sextiling Pluto. And Neptune is sextiling Pluto 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25, but that's when it's exact. And this is spiritual evolution. Literally, you will see humanity have to evolve. And compassion creates transformation. Isn't that gorgeous? Neptune sextile Pluto. Compassion meets and creates transformation. Faith meets psychology. So your psychological understanding develops faith again. Mysticism meets power. So you become powerful around your spirituality. And it isn't loud, but it's deep, it's profound. It is soul transforming. And some of humanity's greatest evolutionary shifts and leaps begin with the invisible movement, with the movement that is an idea, where it's just a movement inside your faith first. Like, I believe in this. So on July 26th, let me just go double check it. We've got Saturn that is going to retrograde. And I think Saturn retrograde is a little bit tougher. I do. I think out of all these outer retrograding planets, I think that Saturn retrograde is tough. So I'm going to give you some conscious, thought-provoking points that go a little bit deeper than the typical interpretations. And by the way, if you are still here with me at the end of this video, we're pretty long into this. I just want to say thank you and leave me a comment and tell me you got to the Saturn retrograde because I want to know. And I just want to say I love teaching you. And if you want to learn more, come learn with me at the Athena Academy of Astrology and get certified. I'm offering a level 1 certification program. After you take 10 courses, you can do this little video exam with me and I will become your coach and I will be your mentor. I am different than most teachers. Most teachers will teach you their astrology and send you off on your way. No, I will coach you. I will help you go from being a good astrologer to a great astrologer to a phenomenal astrologer. It's really special. And go check it out. Just go to shopsoulnavigation.com and click on the Athena Academy. You can get the self-paced study links for the classes that you've already missed. And then you can dive in live with us whenever you're ready, 11 a.m. on Sundays. I'm teaching the houses right now. We're going deep, deep, deep. And one of my students was so sweet. She said, I love studying from you because you really expand the archetypes of the signs and the houses and the planets in this broad way. It was such a beautiful compliment because that's what I try to do. I try to really go beyond the typical, like what you're going to find on YouTube or the book that you're reading. And so I want to give you some thought-provoking points. And I do hope that you'll come study with me at the Athena Academy of Astrology so we can get to know each other. But you're going to be, at this time when Saturn retrogrades, you're going to be questioning whether your goals that you've been chasing truly belong to you, or whether you're living out somebody else's definition of success for you. And if you've ever done that before, it is sad, right? Like I'm doing what my dad told me to do. I told you guys recently about the friend that my nephew brought over, and she's going to be an attorney because her dad said so, because her dad's an attorney. And I said, well, what would you do if you could do your dream? And she's like, oh, my dreams wouldn't make money. And I go, well, that's not necessarily true. What is your dream? And she goes, well, I don't actually know because my parents would never let me. And I said, so you've never given yourself permission to even think about it. You give me an idea. I'll help you make money at it if you want to. And she goes, I don't even know what I would pick. I go, start thinking about it, right? She's 20. It broke my heart. And I go, just pick one. We can change it in 5 minutes if we want to, but let's just pick something to work with. She goes, well, I really like fashion. I go, I've got an idea for you. Let me show you Joe's niece, who is rocking it in the fashion industry, building her own thing. She sells cowboy boots. She bought 350 pairs. She sells the cutest cowboy boots you've ever seen. She's amazing. She's like, I'm from Texas. I love cowboy boots. I go, let me show you. And then she goes, I don't think my parents would allow it. Girl, you're 20. Girl, you're an Aquarius. Girl, you do you. Nope. So, are you indoctrinated in someone else's idea for you? Honest question. Are you? And if you are, I don't want you to feel bad about it, but I do want you to start thinking about expanding your world. And how old are you? Because after the age of 36, if you're indoctrinated into somebody else's definition of you, it's going to become unbearable. Now, maybe you're not indoctrinated. You just have to uphold a duty or a responsibility. And that's a different story. But if you are truly living a life that is not in alignment and you're capable of it, or your circumstances, you're capable of it, you should start trying it on. Now, if you're not, like your circumstances just won't allow you to, maybe you have a disability, maybe you can't, maybe you have to take care of somebody, maybe, maybe you just can't leave where you're at. I also understand that, but start infiltrating passions into your life so you can at least have a colorful palette wherever you are and get pieces of your life on your own terms. Saturn retrograde is going to ask you, remember, this is lasting until December. If you know a baby that's going to be born with a Saturn in retrograde, that's a whole different cat than the transit. And Saturn in retrograde asks you to become your own authority in life. But as a transit, you're going to strengthen your own inner authority and you're going to start relying less on external validation and more on your own judgment. So, for example, you know how they have the news that is opinion news and then they have just the news? This is like watching just the news and you formulating your own opinions. And it's funny, sometimes I'll watch a piece of news. I don't know what it is, but I'll watch a piece of news and I'll have an opinion. I think I can't even recall. I wish I could recall what it is. I have an opinion. I'm like, "Oh God, that's really cool. That's really neat. That's really wonderful." And then the person comes on with an opinion about the news that I just watched that I thought was really wonderful, and they tell me how god awful that news was, how god awful that event was, and how it was a terrible, heinous, no good thing. And I'm like, oh my God, I never even saw it that way. I never even thought that. So sometimes opinion news is okay. It's not bad, but Saturn return is going to ask you to formulate your own opinions. So before you get the opinion of someone else, try to formulate what you think about it. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? Right? And really try to calculate your own answers before you just live according to someone else's judgment. I also want to tell you at this time, your old fears around failure or rejection or not being good enough could resurface right now. Not to discourage you, though, but to be healed once and for all. God, I was tormented and plagued in high school around the feelings of rejection, around not feeling good enough, around not being athletic enough, around being too skinny, too this, too that, too whatever, right? And my God, I want you to do whatever you need to do to heal those wounds. Please, please, please do not be a 59-year-old woman and still carry that around. I really healed those wounds, but I can remember the pain and the agony and the suffering around those wounds. And so when Saturn is in retrograde, count on you, my sweet friend. I don't want you to have those feelings. And you're going to have opportunities right now to refine your leadership style. And one of the ways that you heal those wounds of inadequacy, feeling inadequate, is you take risks, my friend. You take risks. Get your buns up and out of your house, or at least on Zoom. I don't care, internet, whatever. You get yourself out there into the world and you start saying hi to people and you start taking risks. And you're going to have opportunities right now. And so I want you to know that your strength and your confidence comes from trying new things. Travel to a new place. A safe way to try a new thing is go to a new place. Yeah, I remember I had never had Caribbean food at this one point. And I asked my husband, "You want to try Caribbean food?" He's like, "Yeah, I do." God, we loved it. We loved it. I don't even know how to order off the menu. It was very authentic Caribbean food. God, it was so good. Try new things, go to new places. And and I want you to know that this retrograde is going to reward those who are willing to slow down, reassess, make changes, take risks, try a new direction, try a new food, learn something brand new, step into astrology, right? Build a future that is sustainable over ambitious, sustainable instead of just ambitious, right? And become your own authority under this Saturn. You have between now and December to do it. So let's talk about July 27th, and then we're going to wrap it up, right? This is big. This is huge. My friends, look at the sun at 4 degrees Leo. It's right there. It is literally right there with Jupiter, and it is opposing Pluto. So this is when, the ego meets transformation. So we could see people in powerful positions have their egos transformed right now, right? But this is also us saying, who's controlling me? Who's really controlling me? And what part of me still needs this outside approval? So getting your own ego in check, and you really not allowing other people to control you, to mind control you. And Venus and Mars right here are also in a square. So your relationship is going to teach you a lot. There's a masculine and a feminine energy here that can create a lot of passion, but conflict too. So I want you to pay attention to arguments. And the arguments are usually about things that are much, much deeper than what's on the surface, right? And these are intellectual arguments, and conflict can happen right now. But I'll tell you, this can also be a lot of passion. Okay, on the 29th, just wait till you see it right here. The sun and Jupiter are in a cazimi, and look at this. We've got our full moon. This is the second Aquarius moon. I am going to absolutely love this moon. This moon I might even like better than the first one. I love these Aquarius moons, and we get 2 of them. This Jupiter on the sun is gorgeous, but it's opposing the moon and Pluto. So I think out there in the world, we might see something heartbreaking or sad at this time. Something is ending, but hope also returns. So we have an ending, and then we have something hopeful. We have something that gives us confidence and faith and vision, but then we have a loss. So this Aquarius full moon is asking us, how will our unique gifts, how will our heart, our love for humanity and understanding other people serve the betterment of society? And it's like, what contribution can only you make? What unique contribution to your life can only you make? It's not asking you to be more impressive. It's asking you to become more real. The world doesn't need another copy. You don't need to be jealous of anybody, because nobody can do you. Nobody can do you. We need the original, deep version of you to help the world and your life expand and grow and live out of this gorgeous, glorious Jupiter Sun conjunction Cazimi in Leo. And so in July, I think we leave a different person. So I don't think you'll be the same person on July 29th as you truly were on July 1st. I think there is a genuine evolution of your soul and a growth that starts internally, and it might be kind of quiet. And then by the 29th of July, boom, it all wants to come out. But it's like the cake baking in the oven right now. And it's not because everything around you changed, it's because something inside of you became impossible to ignore. Remember that your soul did not incarnate. Please remember this. Please remember this. And tell me if you stayed to the end. And I want to thank you if you're still here listening to me. And I love this moment with you. I really do. It means the world to me. But your soul did not incarnate to become an acceptable person. That is not your mission. I don't even care if you have a Libra North Node or a Virgo North Node. You did not incarnate to become acceptable. You incarnated to become authentically you. Take off the mask. Authenticity will cost you something, though. It's going to cost you comfort. It's going to cost you certainty. Sometimes it even costs relationships that were built around conformity, obedience, and the old version of you. Were you ever involved with somebody who liked you when you were down, and then as soon as you became popular or too beautiful or too smart or too fabulous, they no longer liked you? Has that ever happened to you? Those are the old t-shirts that we don't wear any longer. And this month, especially ending it with that full moon in Aquarius, moon conjunct Pluto, while we're going to witness something sad out there in the world, hopefully it's not in your life or my life or anybody's life that we know. July wants to bring you closer to the life your soul intended to build. If you feel like you're being asked to release something, believe it. If you feel like you're being asked to slow down, trust it. If you feel like you're being asked to be more honest, do it, especially with yourself. Because every great chapter of your life begins with one brave decision, and that is, I am going to stop betraying who I really am for the benefit of others. Right? So that's my little preacher teacher. I hope it wasn't too much preacher teacher. I don't know. I speak with the passion that lives inside my heart and soul, and I want to share it with you. July is profound, and I want you to do something absolutely extraordinary and magnificent with it. I know I'm going to. I have all my Cancer's birthdays to celebrate. And, I got a lot of Cancers in my life. My daughter, my mother, and my brother, and more. And they mean the world to me. So I'm going to be celebrating them. And I'm going on a pilgrimage to the East Coast. And I hope wherever you are at, you are celebrating yourself, your gorgeous, beautiful self, and the people that you love, and that you alchemize. You alchemize the pain in your life and the challenges, and you turn those things into the powerful medicine that you can then drink and heal from. And I have two incredible videos coming up. One, Jupiter in Leo for all 12 signs, and Chiron in Taurus for all 12 signs. And those are critical. Those are just critical. You've got to know about those because they last. Chiron lasts for 7 years. Jupiter lasts for 13 months. And in the meantime, I hope you have a fabulous July. Please like and share this video. Share it with yourself if you have to. Help me boost the algorithm. Help pump up the jam. And I hope wherever you are in the world, you are absolutely wonderful. From my house here in Seattle, Washington, which I hope you're coming next May 13, 14, 15, and 16. I hope I get to meet you and you'll join my live workshop. Until then, until we meet again, be wonderful. Take good care.